Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is now July. We have made some transfer business. We've got a month to go before the season starts. There may be a little bit more business to do. We're going to get into today's episode and show the opening game of the league season, a season which we need to really step up and win some more trophies. And if you're enjoying this series so far, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel down below, leave a comment, and let's get into this episode. So let's go through everything. We'll start off with the player sales, the players out to begin with. Ale went to Motherwell for 1.6 million. Maxwell Boardley went to Plymouth on loan. Dennis Jackman went to Stockport on loan. Hans Kuhn went to Cardiff on loan. Anthony Russell went to Reading on loan. Eric Fowler to Southend on loan. Mike Norton went to Spurs for £675,000. Jamie Knight went to Norwich for £44,000. Craig Furlong went to Stockport on a loan. That's two players they took off us, one of our ex-clubs. Tulio then made the move to Newcastle for £57 million. Mark Raya went to Everton's under-23s on a free, and Dara Gaffney went on loan to Aberdeen with £37,500 fee. And then also Kian Thomas went to Salzburg for 9 million. Ryan Dunn went to Sevilla for 17.5. Li Xiao went to Vitesse for 750,000. Gasper de Sommer for 2.7 million to Genoa. Lee Donnelly on a free to Bolton. Sergio Montel for 6.75 million to Benfica. Federico Prilla obviously went on that free to Bayern Munich. And Ifan Jarman went to Motherwell for £1 million. The sale of Tulio was an interesting one because when let's just find him up here. He asked for a new contract and he wanted over £200,000 a week, and he was only getting 145 as a squad player at Newcastle. We tried to knock him down, we couldn't knock him down, and in the finish, with a year left on his contract, we felt that the sale would probably be the best option. Because of that, we had to make some signings, and it started off like this. So the first signing we made was Wolfgang Clash from Red Bull Salzburg. We knew we needed to focus on getting a striker in, and we did just that. £16 million, comes in 13 dribbling, 16 finishing, 16 first touch. His passing's a little bit low, but we can work on that. Technique of 17. His physicals are all pretty good, all in the yellow. The lowest is the agility and the balance there on 13. Everything is 14 or 15. His 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, perfectionist personality. I mean, he's already valued between 42 and 48 million pounds. I think he could be a fantastic player. 16 composure, obviously he's 20. He came through the ranks at Bayern, went on a free to Salzburg, got 11 in 17 last season. He had a couple of decent seasons in the third league in Germany, but this is a big step up. I feel like with the numbers he has got, he could really do a job for us. Next up after that was Nikolai Savichev from Manchester United, £32.5 million, rising to 36.5. He's a central midfielder, can also play in that defensive midfield role. 3-star current ability, not much room to improve. He just bolsters that central midfield area. Bravery of 19. His marking's 12, his tackling 16, his passing a little bit low, but his work rate's good, 16, stamina's good at 16 as well. Pace is pretty good, can't really jump, but that's really the only thing that lets him down. Can't cross either, but hopefully he doesn't find himself in that many positions. He's valued between 45 and 54 million pounds. His career, he started off at Spartak Moscow, didn't play much there. Man United signed him for 10.25 million. He played 26 games, went out on loan to Werder, and then joined us this summer. After that, it was Soren Sondergaard. Now, since for 19 million, rising to 29 million, since Baptiste Dubois left, we've been struggling for a proper out-and-out top-quality left-back. Thierry Small did a good job this season. We've got Daniel in there. We've got Camilo Paez as well, who can also play. But we've brought in this guy. 18 natural fitness, 16 pace. His crossing's 14. His first touch is 15. Technique 15. Tackling of 12. Passing of 12. There's some decent numbers there. He's 23. He's still got a little bit of room to improve. He can still add some of these numbers. 4-star current ability. 4-star potential ability. Driven personality as well. I think he could be an absolutely fantastic signing at left back. And with Thierry Small, I think he's 31 now. It does bring in a younger player and a top quality younger player as well, because Daniel's still young. I think he's 21 or 22, but I think we needed a top quality left back to replace Baptiste Dubois. We've been missing there for about 18 months. And I think this is the guy to do that. Next up, we spent a lot of money on the next two signings. The first one was Daniel Bervitz from Liverpool, £47.5 million, rising to £58 million. Central midfielder or attacking midfielder. Free kick taking, passing, technique, all fantastic. We're just moving back here and have a look at him as a central midfielder on attack. First touch is good, his long shots are good, passing and technique are excellent. His tackling does let him down a little bit. Work rate's okay, vision's good. His physicals, apart from his jump and reach, are pretty good as well. Does mean we might have a small midfield, but obviously we can mix these up with the likes of Jose Werison, Hudson, Enrique, players like that to really make it a strong midfield. And there's plenty of space to rotate the players now. I think we've got a really good midfield. And the last sign that we brought in is Osmar, also from PSG. We paid £58 million for this guy. Again, attacking midfielder, can play out there on the left, also can play in central midfield as a left-sided player. If we move into an inside forward, first touch is 17, his dribbling's 15, his finishing's 11, his crossing's a little bit lower, 90, technique of 70, physical's all very good again, but another small player, jump and reach lets him down. Pretty quick, acceleration of 15, agility is 18, pace is 16, flair is 18, his vision 16, 4-star current ability, 4-star potential because he's a 28-year-old. I think he's definitely improving. He's played 147 games for PSG. It means that as I change this around, the squad potentially for the first game of the season would look a little something like this. We'd have Wadsworth in goal, Sondergaard comes in at left back, Brown and Brunig as the two centre backs. Poor Alex is back out there on the right hand side. We had a few offers from this summer, but there is no way he's going, especially on loan, to anywhere. Gianfranco Bellino is going to sit in that defensive midfield role. He's going to be our anchor for this season, with Tullio leaving. Hudson Enrique and Daniel Bervitz there in the centre of midfield. Fabio Costa, who's played pretty much everywhere for us, looks like he might start on the right wing. Osmar on the left wing, and then Wolfgang Clash up front. It means that our bench as well, if we look through our 12 players that will be in the side, also there's one other sign that we should have coming through the door, as you can just see there. So we've got Limario as a backup who can play all across the back four. Juan Carlos Suarez who can play in defence and midfield. Dayot Upamecano should be coming in on a free. He is 36, he's very old, but I mean, some of those numbers there, he's probably only going to be a backup centre-back. But I think that provides with so much cover, having a player of that quality. Thierry Small is a backup left back, can also play on the left hand side further forward. Nikolai Savichev can play in defensive midfield or central midfield. Jose Werison can play in central midfield as well. Wubishet Tunjo can play in central midfield, attacking midfield, or as a striker. Nikita Roj on the right or in the centre in that attacking midfield role. Thomas Kozol can play on the left or up front. Hoyena Druz can play on the left or up front. And Petr Kozol can also play on the right or up front. I think it gives our team a lot of flexibility. Players that can play in multiple places. As we said before, Fabio Costa can play on the right side of defence, the right side of midfield, centre midfield, right side of attacking midfield, or a striker. As Osmar can also play in the centre midfield as well. So it's a lot of players that can play in different positions. Sondergaard can also play as an attacking left winger as well. So we have a lot of space to be able to rotate this team, keep players fit, and just keep doing the job with them. Finances, so we've still got £4.5 million in the transfer budget. Wage budget we've just overspent on, but there might be some more outgoings as well. Definitely something to look at. There may be some business in this last month before we get into the season, but at the moment I'm not too sure. I'm not a big fan of doing business on camera. I like to get all the stuff done and sort of being able to look at stuff off camera. There may be some business in the rest of this month. If not, we'll get into the league games. We'll play a couple more league games if there isn't a lot of business to do. But I think we've made some really good signings. Board expect us to finish top half. Season preview has us now in 6th place, 21, above Chelsea, above Arsenal, above Spurs. We only have the likes of Liverpool, Man City, West Ham, Newcastle, and Man United above us. I think we've had a really good transfer window this season, and it's one of the best ones we've had at this club. And I think we have made some serious improvements, not just in the starting 11, but in the 23-man squad as well. And Upamecano signs £200,000 a week. Not too bothered about that, considering the fact he's coming on a free. Still an elite centre back, 4-star current ability. Obviously, a 4-star potential ability. He's not going to improve on that. I think that is a good sign. I think it really does bolster up our defensive options. Now we have 4 real quality centre backs: Brown, Howard, Bruni, Juan Carlos Suarez, Upamecano's there as well, and Cristiano Limario can also play in the centre of defence as well. I think we have got a really strong lineup now. So a little bit more business has gone on here. Milan Van Driel has gone to Fenerbahce on loan. Brian Lizcano has gone to Shakhtar on loan. Gerard Lewis has gone to Chesterfield on loan. Richard Canete has gone to Derby on loan. Giorgio Luis Seacat has gone to Nice for 1.8 million. Cedric Michel has gone to Hearts on loan, and Paul Hodge has gone to Blackburn for £650,000, rising to £800,000. And also Ivan Adega is probably going to be on his way out of the club. He's had a few offers of 3.7 million going from. There's been a few loan offers as well, so we're just waiting to see what he decides to do. We had an offer for £17 million for Jamie Brown coming, but we rejected that. It means we've got a little bit of money in the transfer budget. There's not a lot in the wage which do anything. We're just now looking for that right signing to just complete the squad, really. There's not going to be a lot of money involved in the signing, but maybe a youngster coming over from South America might be the way forward. Just looking at some of these players here. Diego Nunes, who is a central player, defensive midfielder or central midfielder, 20 years old. Potential to have 4-star potential ability there. The goalkeeper here, I think we need a better backup goalkeeper than Scott. So Maximiliano Rodriguez, who is available on loan, £36,500 a week, 20-year-old Uruguayan. He's not going to play much anyway. I wonder if we can get him in on a loan deal that doesn't. It means we don't have to pay a lot for him. No, they want 36,500 for him per week, and our wage budget at the moment, we can't really do that. We can move money across, but again, it has to be the right sort of deal. Joe Andrade is also down there as well, potential to be 5-star ability, but 25 to 31 million on a player that we don't really know an awful lot about at the moment. It's not the way forward. So we also have some expansion plans announced to make the stadium a 50,000 capacity seated stadium. Should be completed by February 2036. So what's that, 7 months? Yeah, 7 months time up there. £35 million that's going to cost. We've been selling out week after week after week after week. It's no more than we deserve. I can't believe it took 13 in-game years for us to get an extension on the stadium. We've done just that. It's a perfect thing to have as well. Get the stadium up to 50,000 seat stadium, and hopefully we can continue to progress on that, make the stadium bigger. But I will say, to counter that, I'm hoping we're not here too much longer. I hope we can do the business in the next year or two, and we can complete this save with a Champions League victory. So I did say that I'll show you the opening league game of the season in today's episode, and I will do just that. However, we have the Community Shield tie against Liverpool to show first. I forgot about that completely. The side for that game is going to look like this. Going to be Wadsworth in goal, Sondergaard, Brown, Brunick and Alex. Bellino's going to sit in front of them in the defensive midfield role. Hudson Enrique and Daniel Bervitz in the centre of midfield. Osmar on the left, Costa on the right, and Jorge Nunes starts up front. Wolfgang Clash has a knock, so we're going to rest him for this game. He's on the bench. Maybe we'll get a few minutes depending on how things go. The bench is like this as well. It's small, Upamecano, Savichev, Jose Werison. It is Thomas Kozai to check because there was no letter next to it. Wubishet Tunjo and Wolfgang Clash as the 7 substitutes. And it is our first game of the season. Let's see how good we are. Let's see if these transfers that we have made make us a much better squad. As I said before, we're going to miss Federico Perella so much. But let's get into it. And we are underway here in this Community Shield tie. Kicking from right to left in the dark blue kit was Liverpool in all red, kicking from left to right as Doku now into Vasquez. Through ball for Haaland. Surely he was offside. He wasn't. And what a save from Peter Wadsworth here early on in the game, keeping us in it. I mean, I've said it 1,000 times before. It is a glorified friendly, really, the Community Shield. But it will set us up in good stead if we would be able to get a win and get a cup win early on in this season. 5 minutes to half time here, we have provided absolutely nothing in this game. There's no highlights. Liverpool haven't provided a lot either, but they've had a few more shots than us, and that goes to Ledesma, up to Ravella, back to Hearns. Alexander-Arnold now will look to go over half on the right side into Haaland. Ball through for Doku, who's in behind the defence. Doku! And he misses the target. And that's 2 good chances Liverpool have had here early on, and they haven't managed to take the lead. So Alexander-Arnold will hit this free kick from distance, hits the woodwork, and Brown can hook it away. And a couple of chances, one after another there for Liverpool, as they have possession of the ball again. It seemed like an aimless ball from us into that left channel. And Ravella to Ledesma. Dozal. Vasquez now with his back to goal on the halfway line. Back to Ledesma. Ravella. Looks up boy top, and Dozal. I think he was behind the fullback then, has to pull it back, gets the ball, and boy to Doku, who glances the header onto the post from about a yard out. He was at a poor angle, but he probably should have done better than what he did, and Doku now puts the ball in. Haaland looks offside, but he hits the post, and he was offside. He did stray just offside, and at half time, 10 shots to none, 3 on target to none, 1.46 XG to 0. We've been absolutely outclassed here, and we need something different here in the second half. Doku with this corner kick, whips it in, headed away by Bellino. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be Ledesma. Jorge Nunes was asleep then. Doku back to Dozal. Dozal to Ledesma now. Infield to Ravella. Under a bit of pressure. Can we get the ball back and hit them on the counter? We can't. Dozal's got space on the left-hand side now. Looking to get the cross in. Under a bit of pressure again. Does get the cross in. Headed away. Mohak will pick it up. Alexander-Arnold now. Down the line for Haaland. Infield to Mohak. Shot from distance onto the roof of the net. And it remains 0-0. First time we've started a highlight with possession of the ball. As Savichev looks in for Nidros, tries to spin his back. He does get past him. He's going to run into the box there. High Nidros. It's a great save by Wind. He went for the near post, which was probably the wrong decision. But it's tipped around the post for a corner kick, and Sondergaard will take it. Whips it in, and Haaland can just nod that away there. Picked up by Doku, and the pressure that we had has gone now, it seems, as Alexander-Arnold now. And that should be that. And there's an injury to Hudson Enrique, which is going to hamper what we were going to do. The last sub I was going to make was going to see Jorge Nunes come off. We don't have another right winger. Okay, so what are we going to do here? I think it's time to just change things around slightly. If we bring him into a striker role, we'll bring Wolfgang Clash on for him, and we'll drop him in as a we go double advance forward on that right hand side, And then do we have any more subs in the Community Shield? We do. We can bring Thomas Kozol, on up front there. And can we bring up Meccano on for Harold Brunig? Have we got 5? Yep. Do we have 6? Well, Jose Werrison's the last sub, so I'm probably going to leave that as it is. Yep, I think that'll do. Maybe we can bring Thierry Swan off for Sondergaard. We can. So we've made our 5 changes, and let's get into the last 20 minutes of this game. Wadsworth smashes that ball clear there, but Ledesma can pick it up into Dozel. Looks down the line for Vasquez, who's away from his man. Vasquez now pulls it back into the left foot to Schreckinger. Back to Vasquez. Back to Dozel. Can they win the ball back here? They can't. Vasquez looked in an offside position there, I thought. Back to Schreckinger, and I'm not sure what happened there, but the ball didn't end up in the back of the net, and that is all that matters. 10 minutes to play. Still 0-0. We've been a little bit better in the second half, but not much. And I think this goes straight to penalties as well, which does mean that we may just be able to nick this on penalties. We go into the final 5 minutes, well, 5 minutes of stoppage time. That is just ebbing away slowly. Nothing happening. Zup Meccano into Alex now. Tunjo looking to get away from that into Wolfgang Clash. Goes back to Alex now. There's a ball over the top there as Kozol had got himself into a little bit of space. Clash now running in field under a bit of pressure. His pass is blocked. Bellino, Tunjo switches out to Osmar. Can he keep it in? He does. Thierry Small now into the box, and thought that just snuck under wind. He palmed it round the post, but it wasn't really a convincing save. It's still 0-0. A little bit of late pressure from us here. That is a poor corner from Kozol. Poor corner. There was no one there attacking it either. As Kozol now tries the second attempt, he's smashed away by the Liverpool defender. And it looks as if we're going to go to penalties. I believe it is, as we're going to start arranging the penalty shootout. So the order we've gone for is Wolfgang Clash, Thomas Kozol, Nikolai Savichev, Gianfranco Bellino, Wubishet, Tunjo as our 5. And then after that, Osmar, Thierry Small, Paul Alex, Jamie Brown, Dead, Upamecano, and Peter Wadsworth. And let's get into this penalty shootout. Relax, pick your spot, don't change your mind, and let's get on to penalties. And let's quickly alter this, and we'll change it to behind the goal for this penalty shootout. And first up is Lorenzo Luca for Liverpool against Peter Wadsworth, who was in fantastic form towards the back end of last season, and he saves the first penalty, and that is the form that he was in last season. Hopefully he can continue it in this Community Shield final. Wolfgang Clash off the bench, he had a knock, but we brought him on anyway to give him some game time. His penalty is saved, and this is not a good start for either side to this penalty shootout, as Yeo steps up next against Peter Wadsworth. Can he make another save? He does. 3 saves in a row, 2 for Peter Wadsworth. It's 0-0, and can Thomas Kozol make it 1-0 to us after 2 penalties apiece? He steps up. I think every penalty take has been a left footer so far. He does score, goes across the goalkeeper. Brilliant finish. And next up is Schreckinger for Liverpool. He steps up, another left-footed penalty taker, sends Wadsworth the wrong way. It's 1-1 here on penalties, and it is Savichev next up for us. Right-footed penalty taker this time, smashes it in the bottom corner. 3 penalties scored have all gone that same way, and now it is Vasquez stepping up for Liverpool. Is it going to be another right-footer? Looks like it. Steps up and smashes it in. Power beats Wadsworth there. Not great on the placement, but it found the back of the net. And now it is up to Gianfranco Bellino to give us a 3-2 lead with 1 to play. Scores! Somehow snuck it in. I thought Wind had got there. They got across his line very quickly, but no such luck. And Bergman Johannesson stepping up next. Last penalty taker for Liverpool with the opportunity to make it 3-3. A miss here gives us this penalty shootout win. Steps up, puts it in the bottom corner. 3-3 with us having 1 penalty left. And last up is Wubishet Tunjo, the striker come midfielder, who has an opportunity now to give us a 4-3 victory on penalties here in this Community Shield final. Steps up, scores, and we win the Community Shield after a poor performance. We win on penalties, 4-3 victory, and it is a second trophy win with this club in the space of a couple of months. FA Cup win back in May, and now in August, the Community Shield to add to it. A poor performance all round by us, but we win it on penalties. And that is a fantastic start to this season. As here comes the cup lift. There it is. Celebrated highly by us. It's another cup win. 0-0. Win on penalties. 4-3. Just the 1 penalty missed. And onwards we move to league action. So we start our season off with an away tie against Burnley before a home tie against West Ham, and then in September we travel to Watford, Spurs at home, away at Everton, a Carabao Cup 3rd round tie, and then at home against Newcastle. There is a chance for us to get off to a very, very good start. Burnley are predicted to finish in 15th place at 200 to 1, so it's going to be a tough game, but it should be a winnable game. And the squad for the opening league game of the season is going to be Wadsworth in goal, Sondergaard, Brown, Brunig and Alex, Bellino in front of them, Bervitz and Tunjo with the midfield duo, Osmar on the left, Rog on the right, and Fabio Costa plays up front today. Due to injuries, Hoyenidros didn't have a good game last time, and Wolfgang Clash still got a fitness issue, so we will probably give him 20-30 minutes. He can get 45, but probably give him less than that. Hudson Enrique also struggling as well. He moves to the bench. This time we have 9 subs, so we've really covered all bases. Thierry Small, Limerio, and Upamecano can all play across that defensive line. Savichev, Werison, Kozul can all play in the centre midfield, as can Hudson Enrique, and then for the wingers, Nadruz, Hudson Enrique, Kozul can all play there, and Klosh and Nadruz and Thomas Kozul can also play up front. So we're covered in all those positions. We travel to Burnley, opening day of the season, and we need to start as we mean to go on with a victory. And it is 1-0 ahead by Fenwick inside 5 minutes as Pesic puts the ball in for Bucci, headed away. Padilla now takes it down, gets it back, and it's, Sondergaard heads it away there, and Osmar can run it out of play here on the left wing, infield to Bervitz, and it's not been a good start by us at all. And this combined with the Liverpool performance doesn't set us in good stand for the rest of this season. Hopefully we can get back into this game. It's not been a good start here. Half an hour in, we trail by a 1-0. Padilla with that ball in, headed away. Can Costa win it? He nods it down to Tunjo. Counter attack is on there. Wobbeschek Tunjo through to Costa, who's beyond the defence. Costa, 1-on-1, hits a woodwork. And that's where we're going to miss Federico Perella for sure. Him for certain would have put that in at his opening goal of the season in the opening game. And this ball goes in, head out onto the bar. And we are conceding too many chances here. I thought we'd shored up the defence. It certainly doesn't seem like it. And goals are going to become a problem for us to get. We are going to really struggle this season. Bellino now into Tunjo. Back to Bellino. Rock forward to Costa. Holds the ball up, gives it to Alex. Ball over the top. Can Tunjo get there first? He can't. And it's a really heavy ball. It's poor. And it gives Burnley possession of the ball back. And a Kui can look long. Header is one, but Alex will pick up the second. Into Costa. Looks at ball for Rock. It's another poor ball from him. Ball over the top now to... I'm not even going to attempt to say his name. And he fires it over the bar and it stays 1-0. And that ball goes long again. And Bervitz now this time into Rock. Back to Alex. Can we find a ball into the forward man? We're not. Just going to hang on to it a little bit here. Bruni, Brown. He can bring it forward. Gives it to Sondergaard on the left side. Upfield to Osmar. Osmar now looks in field for Tunjo. He's made the run. Tunjo takes it down, dinks it over the goalkeeper, and Wobbeschek Tunjo makes it 1-0. 1-1, sorry, running from deep. Little dink over the goalkeeper, and maybe with his 10 finishing, he could be our striker for this season. Message looks for Brown, cuts that out there. Osmar now looks into Savichev. He goes back to Wadsworth, and Brown now can bring it out. Squares it to Bruni. Forward to Tunjo. Little quick passing to Alex, and back to the defender. And we've got hold of the ball a little bit better in this second half, which has managed to get us to create a few chances. That switch ball goes to Nikita Raj through 1-on-1. Nikita Raj has hit the outside of the post. Really poor finish from him, but another good chance. And like I said, we've come into this game in the second half massively here. Padilla with this free kick, ball towards the far post, headed down and it's tapped in by Karol Gawawski. Gonna go with that. 5 minutes to go. It's 2-1 to Burnley. That is really, really poor goal. Padilla with his ball to the far post. It was nodded back across and a simple tap in, and we're going to lose the opening game of the season here, and this is not what we expected here. So 2 performances, 2 bad performances as well. We were better in the second half here. The stats make it look better than it was, but in the first half we were absolutely woeful. But we've conceded 2 simple goals, both from free kicks. And we get what we deserve, really. We just weren't clinical enough. We didn't create enough good chances either. Only 4 shots on target in the whole game. It's a 2-1 defeat, and that is a really poor start, considering we said that, you know, we could have had a good start with the teams we're due to play. We lose the opening game of the season against predicted 15th place Burnley. Not a great start, and we'll move on to the next episode where we'll go take on the whole of September, and we'll just show you that before we end this episode. So we're going to play the West Ham game off camera, and then, like I said earlier, we're going to come back for that Watford game on the 1st of September and play all the way through to the end of September. Newcastle, I think there may be a Champions League game possibly thrown in now. I think it starts around that sort of time as well as the Carabao Cup 3rd round. So if you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next episode where we take on the month of September, and hopefully we can get a bit of better form going.